Hello, today I'm going to do an edge retention test on this Spyderco Para 3 salt with MagnaCut steel. If you are new to this or haven't seen me do this before, I'm going to be making cuts into 1/4 inch sisal rope against this cutting board. I'm going to do an equal number of cuts on what I call soda box cardboard. So I'm going to make equal cuts of 1/4 inch rope and equal cuts of soda box cardboard, checking the edge periodically on U-line catalog paper. I will do that until the edge no longer can reliably and cleanly cut the paper. And so I'm going to be using about that portion of the blade from here up about. So when it stops cleanly and reliably cutting this paper, the test will stop. I will log the results. I will then check the knife and see if the edge can cut this notebook paper without sharpening or touch up of any kind. If it can cut this paper, then the test will continue on 1/2 inch rope, which is much bigger, much more substantial, and also soda box cardboard. Most of the time knives can't continue to that point. So let's see what this does. This is the factory edge of this knife. I just purchased this. This knife has not cut anything but a piece of paper and a couple hairs off my arm. Otherwise, this is a pristine factory edge. We're going to see what it does. Starting best score, 157. I think we're getting close. Let's see. Clean, that's 2 cleans and 1 stop. Clean. Rough. Clean. Clean. Yep, we're gonna do one more. Had to do an extra one because one of those was pretty bad. Yeah, we'll stop it. It's getting questionable enough. So let's see if we can cut the notebook paper and continue on 1/2 inch rope. May do this because it's kind of close on the other paper, so we'll see how this does. No. Nope. It's not good enough, and that was a tear, so it's done. Ending best score. $290. I just want to talk briefly about this edge. During that test, this knife dulled very well, meaning after the first cycle of 50 cuts, the edge began to flatten or roll. And I noted that and thought, oh, maybe this will go quickly. And it didn't do it anymore. The test continued, the test continued, the test continued, and frequently when I'm doing this kind of testing, you'll start to feel what feels like a burr, but it's really a rolled or flattened edge. And this is really stable. This thing like has no damage. Like, sorry the lighting here is not good, but so I have a loop. I can't really show you what it looks like under this thing, but so sorry I don't have better magnification for you guys, but I looked at this edge and it looks really clean. It looks like there's still an apex. I don't see any very, very little deformity or chipping. So I think it's interesting that it provided such a a bad best score, but that's what it did. So there's the information I have about that. I have now sharpened this knife on the WorkSharp Precision Adjust Professional at 18 degrees. The sharpening went very well. There were no major problems or anything. The knife seemed to deburr very well. And I went through to the ceramic and then just did 2 very light swipes per side on the strop. Let's now test this resharpened 18-degree edge. 109. This is after the best check. Super good edge. So I just want to see where we are at. This edge is dulling very well, just like it did in the previous test, as far as damage, smashing, rolling, chipping. Very minimal, extremely minimal. But it feels, well, it still feels very thin this way, like that. Up here at the apex, but it's just not clearly as dangerous as the bottom part. So there's been a couple times that it kind of started to peter out on the paper, but it didn't. It's a really clean cut. That's just the bottom. I was just trying to clean the paper off. So we're definitely done. But you get some clean cuts in there. So yeah, we're done. We're calling it. He did really well. Can't imagine he's gonna do this notebook paper at this point, but nope. Nope. It's done. Ending best score. $243. So this para 3 in MagnaCut today on the factory edge got 800 cuts on 1/4-inch rope and cardboard. And after resharpening to 18 degrees on the WorkSharp Precision Adjust Professional, it got 950 cuts on 1/4-inch rope and cardboard. So I think that's an increase of just about 19%, which is pretty good. Both of these results are very good. Here's a comparison of today's results on this MagnaCut with some 15V that I've tested. The 15V results here are all factory edges, so keep that in mind. So the best comparison to make here probably is comparing the MagnaCut's factory edge today against these 15V factory edges. The Little Native and the 15V's factory edge did really, really good. And it's actually pretty comparable to both of these tests, actually, since the factory edge on the MagnaCut was just under the Little Native's factory edge, and the resharpened edge was just over the Little Native's factory edge. I think it's very impressive that this MagnaCut did as well as the 15V did in those tests, because 15V in those tests actually did quite well. Here I've added today's para 3 MagnaCut results with the 15V results that I've tested previously. Sorry I can't get this to fit better, but you may have to pause this if you want to look closely to make your own comparison. So this para 3 in MagnaCut today tested very well. I'm very happy with these results. This steel performed very well. It dulled very well, meaning that there's very minimal damage accruing on this thing over the course of the test, which in my experience is unusual. So I enjoyed testing this knife. It was very easy to sharpen and it did very well. I'm going to carry this knife and do a full review of it. So I actually look forward to that. I want to do a couple different resharpenings on it. I want to see how the knife responds to a somewhat coarser edge than what the WorkSharp did. But I really like this guy. I'm really happy with him so far. I'm really happy with the results of the test today. So I will keep you posted on my findings with this knife. And thanks for watching.